Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
If it's going on, we're going to be there.
A coalition of out-of-state volunteers now joining the search for Riley Strain as his family urged for more resources 12 days after the 22-year-old's disappearance from a Broadway bar. This as Riley's family continues to pray for any clue bringing the University of Missouri student home. Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino joined the water search today on a boat from North Carolina.
Today's effort is largely thanks to the United Cajun Navy, a water search and rescue group that responds to situations like this nationwide. Today, they put 2 kinds of boats in the water. The United Cajun Navy, a nonprofit based out of Louisiana, is in Nashville with nearly 5,000 volunteers nationwide ready to aid in water search and rescues and natural disasters. Director of Operations David Flack coordinating volunteers from North Carolina, Alabama, and beyond, coming to Nashville with an airboat equipped with sonar and rescue gear. A hovercraft able to fly above marshes, mud, sand, and tough-to-see areas.
This hovercraft can negotiate any kind of terrain.
And K9 tracking dogs recanvassing the riverbank up and downstream and where Riley was last seen, here by the James Robertson Parkway. But visibility in the Cumberland River is poor, only reaching about 2 feet deep. Tonight, the airboat's LED lights will increase that.
Tonight we'll have anywhere between 5 to 6 foot visibility with those lights on the airboat.
Riley Strain's father looking tirelessly for any sign of his son and grateful for the help.
It's a whole lot more resources than what we've had so far. Of course, I wish that this could have happened a week ago. It takes time to get this stuff in place. These people have been so good to come out and help us. We're tired. We're real tired, so some fresh people coming in has really helped.
Metro Police and emergency management search teams also searching the water today. And the United Cajun Navy says it will also be assembling volunteers for an intensive land search of the riverbanks in upcoming days, a rocky, steep terrain often filled with garbage. Flagg says he got in touch with Riley's family after watching news coverage and hearing from the Facebook group of 63,000 followers dedicated to Riley's case.
Found out from them what was going on and the level of their frustration at that point. We have the resources to be able to help. We're not going to not help.
And Metro detectives say they continue to filter through the many tips and leads that they're receiving, as well as recanvassing this very area where Riley was last seen, as well as heading into homeless camps to see if those folks know anything. I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Now, if you're interested in volunteering with the United Cajun Army, you can go to our website, fox17.com, and click on Fox Links for information to volunteer. Continuing our coverage on the search for Riley Strain, the Sheriff's Department up in Cheatham County burped the Cumberland River today. That's when they temporarily stopped the flow of water at the dam. The purpose here is to hopefully let things that have become stuck below the river surface rise to the top. Unfortunately, the burping effort revealed no new clues in Riley Strain's disappearance. Now, we want to take a minute to review the timeline of how we got to this point in Riley's disappearance. Back on March 8th, the 22-year-old college student disappeared after leaving Luke Bryan's Broadway bar. On March 12th, we got our look at surveillance video that showed Riley walking around downtown. On March 17th, a bank card belonging to Riley was found on the riverbank. And on March 18th, police releasing this body camera footage of Riley interacting with an officer the night he disappeared. You can see all of our reporting on this case. Just go to our website, fox17.com, and search Riley Strain. In Operation Crime and Justice, the TBI making a major drug arrest. They arrested 40-year-old James Rucker. They believe the Murray County man is responsible for trafficking drugs throughout Middle Tennessee. A search of his home found several guns, nearly 50 grand in cash, and several different illegal drugs. Keeping now with Operation Crime and Justice, Maury County deputies say a longtime gang member with a long criminal record is now behind bars. Deputies say that you're watching James Rucker walk right into his home here, and then minutes later, deputies from Murray and Williamson counties, along with TBI agents, pull up and swarm the home. They were executing a search warrant. Now, if you look at the top right hand of your screen there, investigators say that is actually James Rucker running out of the back door. The Maury County Sheriff says his arrest is a big win for public safety.
Every day, you know, when you go out and you check 10-8 or you're in service in your communities, you want to make a difference. And this was a huge difference in the community of Maury County and the community of Williamson County.
Well, deputies say they found large amounts of cocaine, meth, ecstasy, pot, and more than $47,000 in cash. In Operation Crime and Justice, Maury County deputies also working to find answers in a cold case. Take a look at your screen here. This is Amber Cates. 20 years ago, she disappeared. Her family last saw the 16-year-old at her mother's home leaving for a spring break trip with a relative.
We have a lot of individuals that may go missing through time, and every one of those matter.
Well, the Maury County Sheriff's Office putting together a cold case unit using retired investigators and experts. If you know anything about Kate's disappearance, we put the contact information for those detectives. You can find all of that info on our website, fox17.com. Tennessee state lawmakers considering a bill that could lead to legalizing medicinal marijuana here in the state. Right now, they're attempting to pass a bill that would issue that on November, put it on the ballot, letting you weigh in on the issue. So we decided to take the poll early ahead of that November vote. What do you think? Should Tennessee legalize medical marijuana? 957 votes have come in. 76.5% of respondents say yes. 23.5% say no. This poll is live right now, so there is time to cast your vote. If you'd like to be included here, you can scan that QR code right there on your screen. It will take you over to our X page. If you'd like to find it on X, our handle's at Fox Nashville. This poll is up and running right now. You can weigh in, and we will show you updated poll results here a little later in the newscast. All right, Katie, rolling through the first day of spring.
Yeah, it's been pretty
warm
nice.
and pleasant, just a little chill.
Just
tolerable.
Yeah, very nice though compared to where we've been the past couple of mornings. We'll take it for today, and tomorrow another nice day, although we won't be quite as warm. I think we're going to be about 10 degrees cooler with mid-60s for the afternoon and a little bit more cloud cover on the way for tomorrow as well. Still tracking our chance for rain as we head into Friday. The chance for scattered showers around. The good news is right now I don't see severe weather as a big concern for us. And then how much rain we could expect, we'll talk about that a little later on as well. Right now, everything looking quiet on Broadway. A little more people compared to what we had yesterday. Our temperatures sitting at 59 degrees with a mainly clear sky. We keep skies clear as we go through the evening hours. We've had this front push through over the past several hours here, and again, it'll keep us mainly quiet for the overnight. In fact, temperatures may be a couple degrees colder than where we were early this morning. In fact, we take a look, 38 our temperature for the overnight here in Nashville, Clarksville around 36, Murfreesboro at 37, a chilly night. We'll talk more about the rain that's on the way for Friday and how much we could end up with in the rain gauge. That's all coming up. Megan.
Thank you, Katie. Up next, the murder of a Belmont student could soon lead to a significant change in Tennessee law, a change designed to protect future victims. And up next, doctors say those with spring allergies need to be prepared for a rough one this year. What you can and can't do to keep those allergies in check.
You're watching.
I wish we could have done this 5 years ago. It's a very small population. These are violent offenders that are incompetent to stand trial. They should not be released.
Tonight in Operation Crime and Justice, the man accused of killing a Belmont University freshman last fall is now facing murder charges. Court records show the man has a history of violence and mental health issues. Now state lawmakers are pushing to make sure potentially dangerous people remain off the streets. Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse taking a closer look at how they're moving forward.
Lawmakers are pushing to make a change. There's a law that's making its way through our Capitol building in honor of the Belmont University student Jillian Ludwig. In November, Jillian Ludwig, a freshman at Belmont University, died after she was shot while walking in an Edge Hill park. Shaquille Taylor originally faced charges of aggravated assault, and now the 29-year-old is facing a felony murder charge. Court records show Taylor is no stranger to breaking the law.
Was a repeat violent offender prosecuted in April for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The case was dismissed after 3 court-appointed physicians testified he was incompetent to stand trial and was released from custody.
Jillian's law aims to close this loophole.
The public safety is at serious risk by allowing dangerous individuals back into society to reoffend without receiving the appropriate mental health services and, candidly, the supervision that they need.
Mental health advocates say they agree with keeping the public safe and tragedies like Jillian Ludwig's from happening again. The group feels there's unintended consequences with this bill.
Bed capacity and staffing issues associated with an influx in involuntary commitments, and the lack of funding for mandatory outpatient services, without which Tennesseans may face indefinite involuntary commitment under the language of the bill.
Senator John Lundberg is one of the bill's sponsors. He says this bill does 3 separate things for violent, very violent offenses. 1, someone who is deemed incompetent to stand trial must be involuntarily committed until the person is competent to stand trial, or if it cannot be restored. Second, if someone is incompetent to stand trial, it is under the presumption that the defendant is likely to cause serious harm. And third, anyone deemed incompetent to stand trial will be entered into the FBI's National Criminal Background System. Again, this law is making its way through our legislature, and we'll be sure to keep you updated on how this all plays out. Reporting at the Capitol, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, now that spring is officially here, pollen won't be far behind. Like clockwork here, the CDC says more than a quarter of adults here in the U.S. and nearly 1 in 5 children have a seasonal allergy. If you're one of them, doctors say get prepared, and this season could be a rough one. Tonight, a look at what you can do now to protect yourself against those spring allergies.
Spring is in the air, literally.
With global warming, climate change, we are seeing these longer pollen seasons that not only last longer, but are stronger.
Dr. Purvi Parika with the Allergy and Asthma Network says tree pollen may last through April or May, and then grass pollen will start to peak through June. And then there's dust and mold to deal with.
What I tell all of my patients is start your medication early, right at the start of the season.
Dr. Parika says preparing now before symptoms start can help control them. If you have asthma, she says to avoid attacks by getting on preventative or controllable medicine early. For those that suffer from allergies, get on a regimen of nasal sprays and antihistamines, but get the ones without a decongestant.
So that means without the letter D in it, because it's actually harmful to use that long term, like for allergies. But things like Zyrtec, Claritin, Allegra, those are all 24-hour antihistamines that actually work quite well.
Help avoid getting stuffy by using steam inhalation or neti pots to open up the sinuses. Keep windows closed, especially in the early morning at peak pollen time. And avoid going outdoors at peak times as well. When you come home, change your clothes. Take a shower so that pollen doesn't go to bed with you. And use dust mite covers in the bedroom.
HEPA air purifiers work well for mold and animal allergies, but those air purifiers don't purify everything.
All right, here is a look at pollen.com's national allergy map. Here for Tennessee and Kentucky, 2/3 of Tennessee in the high category, 1/3 in the medium category. Kentucky split roughly half and half between the 2 highest categories. For a link to this interactive map so you can zoom in to your particular neighborhood, just go to our website. It will be under Fox Links. All right, speaking of, you get the spring and all the things that come with it.
Yes, unfortunately, and we're still battling moderate to high tree pollen along with some mold spores right now. So again, it's that time of year, and hopefully we'll have this nice little rain to kind of wash things out a little bit. What's nice about it is that at least a little bit of that pollen kind of gets rinsed out of the atmosphere when we get these rains that come through. So some temporary relief. Scattered showers around for the day on Friday. It is looking like more of a Friday rain compared to a Thursday into Friday. And more importantly, right now, severe weather is not on the table, so that is good news. We'll likely see just some scattered showers with a few pockets of heavy rainfall possible. Tomorrow won't be quite as warm as where we were today. We topped off at 73 this afternoon. We're going to be about, I'd say, maybe 7-8 degrees below that for tomorrow as we top off in the mid-60s for the day. So mainly sunny skies as we head through the afternoon. Walking you through the timeline for tomorrow, we are looking at a couple clouds through tomorrow morning, but notice we stay dry all the way through the afternoon. A pop-up shower can't be ruled out as we head into the evening. This is at 7 o'clock, but more than likely we're looking at the better rain to arrive after midnight and into early Friday morning. We'll start with a few scattered showers around for Friday commute time, and then as we get into the afternoon hours, that's really when we'll start to see more of those showers build in. This is 12 noon. Notice too, the main source of energy stays well south of us. When we go through the afternoon into the early evening, more of those showers spread throughout Middle Tennessee. This secondary front will come through and help dry us out. It'll sweep out all of that moisture, and we're left with clearing skies as we head into Saturday morning. In addition to that, we'll look at temperatures to cool a little more, now in the low 60s most likely for Saturday, along with a bit of a breeze for the afternoon. How much rain are we looking at? Rain chances, at least the amounts have been trending down a little bit, but I would still say we're looking at maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch for most, and then some areas could find up to 1 inch. That would more likely be out towards the plateau, possibly in our southern counties. Something that has held over the last few days is the trend of lower rainfall amounts up in southern Kentucky and our counties that border Kentucky. So less rain north, a little more throughout the heart of Middle Tennessee and out east toward the Cumberland Plateau. We'll talk more about another rain chance that is expected as we head into early next week. We're walking you through one of our long-range models in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Well, spring has sprung and many of you are ready to start planting in your home garden. We'll take a look at what you are safe to start with right now.
And almost 2/3 of fourth graders here in the U.S. struggle to read at grade level. That's why Fox 17 and our parent company Sinclair Broadcasting partnering up with Reading is Fundamental to support children's literacy. You can see a
new 2024 Sportage LX for $279 a month.
All right, spring officially here, which means some are itching to get your home and garden up and running. Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Brett Luna spoke with one local farmer about what crops you can safely plant right now and others that you may want to hold off on for just a little longer.
What started as just a very small roadside stand selling extra stuff out of the family garden has now turned into the 65-acre Lester Farms in Lebanon. This year they're growing 7 acres of strawberries that'll be hand-picked each morning and sold each day. It's a beautiful sight seeing these bright red, fresh strawberries, especially with a nice sunset in the background too.
And this time of year, strawberries is all the talk. That's kind of what kicks off Middle Tennessee's fresh fruit and vegetable season every year.
They've still got a few weeks or so, around April 15th, until they start harvesting these berries. And as for how long into the season they'll be able to pick for, well, it really just all depends on the weather. But in the meantime, they've recently had to deal with some freezing nights. The average frost-free date for Middle Tennessee is typically April 13th to April 20th. That's when historically we'll see our last frost. But strawberry plants begin blooming out much earlier than that. This year they started blooming around the 1st of March, so that leaves about 2 months that they have to be ready to frost protect. Before the temperatures dropped into the 20s earlier this week, they were covering all 7 acres of strawberries with 2 layers of the floating row covers to keep them safe. If you're growing a garden at your home and you're trying to catch the season a little early and already have some vegetable plants put out, Mitchell says floating row covers are a great thing to have on hand in case we have any more of these freezing cold nights. You might want to hold off on putting all of your vegetable plants into the ground right now, though, if you don't have any way to protect them. But he says there definitely are some plants that are safe to plant right now.
Right now would be an appropriate time to begin planting your earlier season crops: kale, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, lettuces, any of your cold season crops.
He says anything like tomatoes, summer squash, sweet corn, watermelons, any of the more summer crops, you're going to want to wait until those frost-free dates. So that's going to be after April 13 to 20th or so if you're not prepared to frost protect them. Brett Luna, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Up next, breaking news involving the Covenant school shooters' writings and why they could soon be made public. And a class action lawsuit leading to possible changes when
for Ram 1500 trucks. Visit your local Ram dealer today.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by B.F. Myers Furniture.
We're simply asking the FBI to follow the law and release the documents.
Breaking news tonight surrounding the Covenant tragedy and the fight over making the shooters' writings public. An online publication is taking the FBI to court and celebrating a victory. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker explains more.
A federal judge has ordered the FBI to turn over the shooter's writings to the court. That judge will then review them and determine if they should be released. Last May, the Tennessee Star, along with several other groups, sued the Metro Nashville government for not releasing the shooter's writings. That case is currently tied up in court, but the Tennessee Star decided to take that battle a step further, filing a federal lawsuit against the FBI.
The documents are public record and they should be released. Metro government failed to release them. We asked them nicely. They didn't. And they shared those documents with the FBI. We asked them nicely in accordance with the law. They didn't. And so when the government entities don't comply with the law, we have recourse through the courts.
Michael Leahy with the Tennessee Star says the documents could provide information to legislators and the general public that could possibly lead to steps to prevent terrible acts like this from happening in the future.
What do you think that difference is between suing Metro versus, FBI?
At first, I thought we would be more likely to obtain the documents in state proceedings. But there are a number of parties who do not want those documents revealed and have taken the legal actions to impede its release. And again, I think that is contrary to the public interest.
Right now, Leahy believes it's more likely that the documents will be released either in full or in part, first by the decision made by the federal judge.
And I am fully confident that after she reviews them, she will conclude correctly that it is in the public interest to have all of these documents released.
And today we spoke with former FBI agent Scott Augenbaum, who broke down how cases like this work.
Just remember, there's evidence in a case. The manifesto is evidence. The evidence is property of the collecting agency, Metro Nashville. They turned it over to the FBI. The FBI would then turn it back over with the notes and everything like that. So the analysis.
And we also asked the FBI for their response to the latest developments at the federal level. However, we did not hear back. As we've reported in the past, Covenant parents have been very vocal this past year about not releasing the manifesto. They've done this both in protests and in House hearings. Keep in mind, we are just 7 days away from the Covenant tragedy's 1-year anniversary. In Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Continuing coverage tonight on changes that could save you thousands the next time you buy or sell a home. If approved by a federal court, the National Association of Realtors is no longer requiring brokers to provide money to a buyer's agent up front. That normally came out to about 6%. Joining us now to break down this potential change is Realtor Craig Edwards. Well, Craig, how big of a deal is this for home buyers and sellers?
It's a really big deal. I'm not really sure that buyers and sellers are going to notice that much of a difference, to be honest. I think it's really a big deal for the realtors. There's still going to be payment that's going to be made to realtors, either representing a buyer or a seller. So I don't see a big change there. But what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot more communication between the agents, the realtors, and the clients, be it a buyer or a seller. If it's a buyer, everyone's going to really want to have a representation agreement, and this is on behalf of the realtor as well as the client, and it will actually kind of break down what those commissions are, what the professional services fees are. As far as the sellers are concerned, they're already under an agreement with the agent that's listing the home for them. What they're not going to be doing anymore is just putting out there that they're going to offer a percentage to a buying agent. So it's really kind of dividing it out so that buyers pay for their services and sellers pay for their services. And that's really what the Department of Justice was trying to get to when all of this came about anyway.
Oh, gosh,
so
yeah.
it's a big deal.
So what prompted this change, you think?
Oh, well, it was a lawsuit that came out on behalf of some sellers that actually started the whole thing. And they're the ones that pushed this through the courts. They were feeling like they were having to pay for the buyer's agent, and they weren't getting their money's worth out of that. So the idea was they shouldn't be forced to pay a certain percentage. And you mentioned that 6% is generally what was seen. It's not set in stone, and it does vary, and it is negotiable. And that's really what I think they were trying to get to overall, is to have all of these things negotiable. The good thing, Megan, is here in Tennessee, we've had a lot of these practices already in place. So things aren't going to change dramatically here. Perhaps some agents that are really not full-time agents may find this a little more difficult to navigate, and they may kind of step aside and maybe get out of the real estate business. But for those of us that have been doing it for a while, and it is a full-time profession, we're just going to make the changes necessary and adapt.
Sure, you always figure it out. And keyword, like you said there, everything is negotiable. Craig Edwards, always good to see you. A favorite friend here at Fox 17.
Thanks, Megan.
Well, going into the overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning, we'll keep skies mainly clear. It's going to be a chilly night as we drop back into those upper 30s by tomorrow morning, but we'll climb into the mid 60s by the afternoon. We've been talking about this rain chance on the way for Friday, but we look ahead to your weekend and it is not looking too bad. Temperatures will be a little on the cool side now for Saturday. It looks like a little bit more cold air will arrive behind that rain chance for Friday, but we rebound nicely as we head into Sunday with a partly cloudy sky. We'll see those temperatures climb into the mid 60s, mid to upper 60s. So cool and breezy for Saturday, rain free both days, most importantly, and looking better as we head towards Sunday. If you had to pick one of the 2 days, clearly Sunday looking a little bit better, but Saturday not terrible, still nice and sunny. We'll talk more about another rain chance on the way for early next week. That's coming up. Megan.
Tennessee Vols kicking off the NCAA tournament tomorrow night, and they're going to need this guy. Vols fifth-year guard Dalton Knecht was named the SEC Player of the Year last week, and today he was named a finalist for the Luke Olson National Player of the Year award. Knecht averaging over 21 points per game while shooting 46.5% overall. Vols definitely will need those numbers tomorrow night when they face St. Peter's to open up the tournament. Now, Tennessee is coming off an ugly loss to Mississippi State in the opening game of the SEC tournament last week. Knecht says they weren't the aggressor in that game, and don't worry, it won't happen again.
We just weren't there. We need to be. We're going to be more competitive, especially we know it's win or go home, and this could be our last game, and we definitely don't want that to happen. So we're going to come out ready to fight and be the aggressors.
Vols tip off 8:20 tomorrow night against St. Peter's in the opening round. Well, the madness has already started for the Vanderbilt women. The Commodores back in the tournament for the first time in a decade, and they're fighting for their lives right now as we speak. Doors going up against Columbia. They're up 45-43. Now, this is the first 4 playing games, so the winner of this moves on to the first round of the tournament tomorrow. Hopefully, the Doors can hold on for the win. Nashville Predators are not slowing down anytime soon. They extended their point streak last night to now 15 games in a row. And the last time the Preds had that long of a streak, 2017, when the Preds made that memorable run to the Stanley Cup final. Now, every one of these points are crucial as the club makes its push for the postseason, but it's also helping the new team find confidence and consistency in their style of play.
We talked about it before the game. We're very grateful for this opportunity to have this point streak. It's not, you can't take it for granted. There's a lot of work that we put in to get to this point, and obviously we want to keep it going as long as we can.
Preds will try to make it 16 games in a row against the Florida Panthers when they return to the ice tomorrow night. And some quick Titans news from today. The team agreeing to a new deal with kicker Nick Folk after a fantastic 2023 season. He was 29 of 30 on field goals last year, so great to have him back. Titans also adding defensive lineman Sebastian Joseph from the 49ers. I'll have more at 10, but for now, Jill Johnlick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Coming up, talking more about what looks to be an active pattern setting up for us. We'll have a look at an hour-by-hour look at your next rain chance coming in for Tuesday.
And parents at Middle Tennessee's
Bart Durham Injury Law at 615-242-9000 for a free case evaluation.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Not a crisis in the classroom when it comes to investigating sexual harassment complaints. Some parents are upset with how Rutherford County schools navigate the process. The school board took a hard look at how to handle the sensitive subject, and even though a policy change cleared the table, some parents say the revision is not good enough.
Now I will call for a roll call vote.
Rutherford County Board of Education voting Monday to approve a policy that calls for a 90-day review of sexual harassment claims within schools. During this so-called reporting phase, no consequences or disciplinary action can be taken. Some parents are worried the lengthy review process may potentially leave their child vulnerable to more harassment while the claim is pending.
Most times, parents give grace. They understand it's the process. Every once in a while, I have a parent coming in hot because we're concerned about what's going on with our kids, of course. We want to keep them protected. We don't want them to be touched. We don't want them to be harassed, things of that nature.
But during the review, the vetting, interviewing, and intervention has a precise protocol that must be followed before claims can be escalated. Parisia Lyons with Rutherford County Schools says most of the times the cases don't qualify as criminal, and Title IX federal civil rights laws don't intervene until the process is complete, only leaving the school to operate by its code of conduct to issue disciplinary action if needed.
We don't investigate. We don't bring students in. We don't make them admit that they've done some Title IX wrongdoing. Can't do that in the reporting phase. Nothing happens until it's initiated by a formal complaint. And that's when the clock starts ticking on the timelines.
Lyons said so far in 2024, there's been only one sexual harassment case, and the incident involved a teacher, and one case in 2023, which was ultimately dismissed. When voting on the policy, it was not unanimous. At least 2 members ultimately voted not to extend the district investigative period to 90 days before reports can be escalated. The measure ultimately passed, given that only one person in the district is in charge of handling these types of cases.
Crisis in the Classroom is our commitment to exposing problems and finding solutions for issues in our schools. If you have a story, you can email us at news@fox17.com or call our tip line, the number on your screen there, 615-266-4149. All right, in your consumer news, many people drinking beer with their pizza and now enjoying the two together just got easier. A Belgian brewing company partnering up with the frozen pizza brand Tombstone to create a pizza-flavored beer. You heard that right. IPA has the flavor of crispy crust, tangy tomato sauce, and a hint of pepperoni with about 7% alcohol in it. Pizza and beer lovers looking to try the new flavor will have to wait until National Beer Day. Coming up, though, April 7th. To pick up a 4-pack at select stores, it'll cost you about $50.
What I got from that article actually is just that National Beer Day is April 7th.
You're right. Why do we have to ruin pizza and beer together? Stay in your lane, each of you.
Yeah, I like to eat pizza. I don't want to drink pizza.
Right, exactly.
And I like beer, but I like beer tasting beer. Right.
I don't know who comes up with these crazy combinations.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just to sell more beer, I guess.
Let's see who takes the bait.
I'm a little curious. I'd taste it, but I don't think I'd buy it all. Yeah, they're probably true. Live look here from our South Nashville camera. Things getting quiet for tonight. Really pretty shot. I love that view this time of night, especially on a cool, crisp night where we've got a little bit more clear picture out there. Tomorrow's sunset will be at 7 o'clock. Tonight's was at 6:59. Tomorrow we're at 7. It'll be the first sunset at or after 7 p.m. since last September. So exciting to see the sun set a little bit later with each night. As far as temperatures go, going into tomorrow, we'll look at temperatures around 11 o'clock or so in those mid to upper 50s, just kind of depends on where you're at. And then we get into the afternoon hours, you can see that we're in those mid 60s. Murfreesboro may be getting a little bit warmer into those upper 60s for tomorrow. Here in Nashville, I think we'll top off in the mid 60s for the day. Winds remain light. That's the blue number that you see there. And then as we get into Thursday night, early Friday morning, we'll see those numbers slide back into the low 50s and eventually into the upper 40s heading into the morning hours for Friday. And extra cloud cover coming in by Friday morning. It'll help keep these numbers a little bit more mild compared to what we'll see tonight in the upper 30s. So rain chance for Friday. Next rain chance not too far away. Thankfully, we'll get by with a nice dry weekend. Monday night, though, into Tuesday, that's going to be what we're looking at for our next rain chance. So I thought we'd look ahead here and take a look at timing out this next rain. So this is Monday night, next Monday night. Showers will be to our west, and keep in mind we're still looking at days away, so timing is still going to slide a little bit. But the idea here is showing some showers, maybe a few thunderstorms rumbling through very early on Tuesday morning right now, with some moderate to heavy pockets of rain through the morning commute, and then slowly clearing out as we head into Tuesday afternoon. So again, the fact that it is Wednesday and we're talking about next Tuesday, we still have a good 6 days to kind of iron out these details, but possible that we could be looking at more of an overnight rain for early Tuesday morning, and still too soon to determine whether or not we're looking at severe weather as a possibility. For now, it does look to be fairly active for Tuesday and then maybe into the later part of next week as well. So a couple chances for showers and storms here coming in the later half of March. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Temperatures really not too bad. This is a pretty spring-like forecast here. Lowest day or coolest day will be Saturday and again on Tuesday of next week. Notice those highs stay in the mid to upper 60s, which is not too far from average, which is about 64, 65 for this time of year.
All right, thanks for the rundown there, Katie. Up next, the story behind how this dog became part of an unusual crime in North Nashville. And state lawmakers consider the option of legalizing medical marijuana. We'll get your feedback on that possibility.
Hey there, I'm Jennifer Waddell from Fox 17 News this morning. The FBI says that nationwide crime rates continue to go down. What the Attorney General says is behind those numbers, and we're asking the question, do you feel safer in your...
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
Tonight in Operation Crime and Justice, the search is on tonight for a man who police say broke into a North Nashville apartment, robbed a woman, and then stole the dog that she was pet sitting. That apartment was on Creekwood Drive here up in this area. Here's a photo of the dog that was taken. Police say when the victim arrived home, she noticed that the dog and the crate were gone. When she started looking for the dog, she saw the suspect in the kitchen. He pointed the gun into her stomach and then demanded her purse. He ran out the front door. The dog has reportedly been sold, and detectives say they want to speak to the buyer. Earlier in the newscast, we told you about our X poll up and running, asking the question, should Tennessee legalize medical marijuana? Here are the results. Hot topic here, over 1,000 people weighing in. 76.8% say yes, Tennessee should legalize medical marijuana, compared to 23.2% that say no. We'll have another update for you on these numbers. They're changing by the hour, so we'll get you the latest poll numbers tonight at 10. Each night, look for a brand new poll on our X page that you can weigh in on. Nashville is getting greener. We'll tell you how many trees this
is. That in your background said former U.S. Marine. You can trust them. I knew when you'd say something to me, I didn't have to wonder if you were telling me the truth.
In your community tonight, Nashville city leaders and community activists are marking Arbor Day by celebrating their work to plant more trees. Tree planting season is underway now, and Root Nashville, a citywide effort to partner with groups to increase the tree canopy, say at the end of the season, more than 50,000 trees will have been planted since the program started in 2018. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell says trees are a vital part of the city's infrastructure.
There is no better system to slow and store stormwater, to sequester carbon, to clean the air, to reduce the heat island effect, to save on energy, regenerate soil, or to support biodiversity than our urban forests.
Mayor O'Connell says tree canopy has increased over the last 11 years, with more than half of Metro blanketed by trees. More commercial, industrial, and private landowners are encouraged to join the efforts to plant more trees.
So you got like achy legs and you don't like the way they look? Maybe you need a little vein therapy, that kind of vein. I'm Liz Bonus. We explain just ahead.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
We're simply asking the FBI to follow the law and release the documents.
New details tonight in a federal lawsuit against the Federal Bureau of Investigation to release the Covenant shooters' writings publicly. It comes almost a year after the Tennessee Star sued the FBI. Now a federal judge ordered the FBI to turn over the shooters' writings to the court. That judge will review them and determine if they should be released. Keep in mind the Tennessee Star previously sued Metro Nashville government for not releasing the manifesto before taking it to the federal level.
What do you think that difference is between suing Metro versus, FBI?
At first, I thought we would be more likely to obtain the documents in state proceedings. But there are a number of parties who do not want those documents revealed and have taken the legal actions to impede its release. And again, I think that is contrary to the public interest.
The FBI tells Fox 17 they don't have a comment at this time as the court is addressing the request. Covenant parents have been vocal over the past year in support of not releasing the manifesto. The one-year mark of the Covenant tragedy now just 7 days away. Happening now, the Cajun Navy continues its search of the Cumberland River as night falls on the 12th day of the search for missing college student Riley Strain. We're told volunteer crews are using special LED lights that can see 5 to 6 feet into the water's depth, allowing them to stay out in search boats on the water longer tonight. The Cajun Navy has been in Nashville the past 2 days helping with the search for the 22-year-old University of Missouri student. Well, the Cajun Navy volunteers had both an airboat and a hovercraft on the Cumberland River all day. The airboat equipped with sonar and rescue gear. The hovercraft also able to navigate through tough to reach areas. Riley's father thankful for their help and expertise in the search for his son.
It's a whole lot more resources than what we've had so far. Of course, I wish that this could have happened a week ago. It takes time to get this stuff in place. These people have been so good to come out and help us. We're tired. We're real tired, so some fresh people coming in has really helped.
Downriver, the Sheriff's Department in Cheatham County temporarily stopped the flow of the water at the dam as part of their search efforts. This allows anything that may have become stuck below the river's surface to rise to the top. Metro Police and emergency management crews were also searching the river today. In the coming days, the Cajun Navy will be assembling ground search volunteers and using K-9 teams to comb through areas along the riverbank. Now to Operation Crime and Justice, Murray County deputies are working to reignite a cold case. Take a look at your screen here. This is Amber Cates. 20 years ago, the then 16-year-old disappeared. Her family last saw Cates at her mother's home, leaving for a spring break trip with a relative.
Just because Amber has been gone for now 20 years, that doesn't mean that she doesn't matter. She matters to a retired lieutenant, a forensic scientist, a criminal justice major. She matters to Lieutenant Boss, myself, the family. And we are pleading with our community to take, if you know something, you've heard something, give it to us so we can at least look into it and try to figure out what that information is.
The Murray County Sheriff's Office put together a cold case unit using retired investigators and experts in order to find Cates. If you know anything about her disappearance, we have contact information for detectives at fox17.com. Now to crisis in the classroom tonight. A Rutherford County teacher has been suspended after the Board of Education says she engaged in forcible physical contact with 2 students. That teacher Emily Romine is seen here in this picture from Stewartsboro Elementary School's website, where it says that Romine teaches integrated pre-K. The Rutherford County Board of Education says Romine was seen on camera footage from the school cafeteria grabbing and pulling a student's arm, pushing a student aggressively, hovering over a student, pushing a student's head, and other incidents over an 8-minute period of footage. The board voted tonight to suspend Romine for 15 days. She was on unpaid suspension before tonight's vote. Now to Operation Crime and Justice. Right now you are watching drone video of a drug bust out in Murray County. Deputies say that's James Rucker walking into his home minutes before deputies executed a search warrant. Moments after he goes inside, you can see deputies from Murray and Williamson County, as well as TBI agents, pull up and swarm the home. If you look at the top of your screen, investigators say that James Rucker ran out the back door. See, look at him go. Deputies say Rucker is a known gang member and has a long criminal history.
Mr. Rucker, I'd like to refer to him, he's an equal opportunity supplier and drug dealer. If there was an illicit drug that you were looking for, Mr. Rucker, he could arrange that.
Deputies say they found large amounts of cocaine, meth, ecstasy, pot, and more than $47,000 in cash.
Tomorrow morning going to be a chilly start to the day. In fact, probably a few degrees colder than where we were early this morning as we start off in those upper 30s. Lots of sunshine around, though. It will be another crisp start to the morning. Temperature around 40 by 8 and up to about 43 by 9. A little cooler for the afternoon high compared to today as well. Broadway right now looking a little more busy, and our temperature sitting in the upper 50s with a clear sky. We'll keep skies mainly clear as we head through the overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. Cold fronts actually come through. You wouldn't notice that we didn't have any rain, of course, and had clear skies, and really haven't had too much of a temperature drop this afternoon. It's been a very pleasant day. Overnight lows area wide here, 38 in Nashville, Dickson around 37, Columbia 39 degrees, Lebanon, Cookeville sitting at 35. We'll walk you through the rain chance that's on the way for the end of the work week, timing it out, and how much you could expect in the rain gauge. It's all in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Key witnesses in the Biden impeachment inquiry answer to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
New tonight, a hearing on Capitol Hill to allow the American public to hear firsthand about the ins and outs of the Biden family's business deals. For Republicans, the hearing was the culmination of a years-long investigation into what they call influence peddling and corruption. But as Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzell reports, Democrats say it's all part of a political smear campaign against President Joe Biden.
At the hearing, an empty seat for their main character, Hunter Biden, who declined to attend despite previously asking to testify publicly. For months, GOP lawmakers have been working to connect the dots from Hunter to Joe Biden.
He shows up to meetings, gets on phone calls, shakes hands, and tells people to, quote, look after my family.
There have been thousands of documents, including bank records, emails, and texts, as well as witness testimony, including from whistleblowers from the IRS. And those at this hearing, former business partners asked to provide examples of Joe Biden's involvement.
Hunter took a call from his father and told him things were going well with Henry's Allen harvest and that he might need a little help getting across the finish line.
Tony Bobulinski insisting for years Joe Biden was the reason there were any business deals at all, with companies willing to dole out millions, including those based in China and Russia.
There's no evidence of corruption here today. If Joe's conduct and the conduct of his family were fully legal and proper, then why are they so dishonest about it?
In the eyes of Democrats, it is a last-ditch attempt to try to make the case for impeachment against Joe Biden in retaliation for Democrats' impeachment of former President Trump, an effort they argue has come up empty.
Nearly 20 fact witnesses who cannot identify a single act of wrongdoing by President Biden, much less a high crime and misdemeanor.
Democrats tried to discredit testimony of Republican witnesses who they say are simply loyalists to Donald Trump. Their witness, Lev Parnas, says Trump and Rudy Giuliani sent him around the world to try to find dirt on the Biden family.
In nearly a year traveling the world and interviewing officials in different countries, I found precisely zero evidence of the Biden's corruption in Ukraine. The impeachment proceedings that bring us here now are predicated on false information spread by the Kremlin.
Democrats hoping this was the final impeachment inquiry, but there are still questions about whether GOP leaders will try to call Joe Biden himself to answer questions ahead of any decision on whether to move forward with impeachment. I'm Christine Frizzell for the National Desk, America's News Now.
Back and forth on a controversial border law, why the legislation is on hold once again.
Been included. Fast, reliable speeds right where you need them. That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi with Xfinity.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
The U.S. government will grant Intel up to $8.5 billion to fund new chip plants in Arizona, New Mexico, Ohio, and Oregon. The grant money is set aside under the 2022 CHIPS Act. It's an attempt to counteract COVID-era supply chain disruptions and return chip production to the U.S. from Asia. Stocks and guac. And don't forget the salsa. Chipotle, Mexican Grill's board approving a 50-to-1 stock split. The fast casual chain also plans to offer its restaurant managers a special equity grant. It's the first ever stock split for Chipotle and one of the biggest splits ever on the New York Stock Exchange. The split will take effect June 26th. Fans of the Stanley Tumbler are gearing up for the brand's latest collaboration with Target. 3 new collections hit store shelves on Sunday. If this is anything like past Stanley drops, expect long lines and products to sell out fast. And Chick-fil-A is rolling out some new creations at a test kitchen in Maryland. That one location is offering 5 different pizzas, including a pie topped with chicken nuggets and pickles. One Chick-fil-A official saying, quote, "We've noticed our customers getting creative with Chick-fil-A ingredients on pizzas at home, so we've decided to jump on board." That's business. In New York, I'm CJ Papa, Fox News.
Continuing coverage of the crisis at the border tonight as the Texas law allows state law enforcement to arrest suspected illegal immigrants. It's back on hold. A federal appeals court is preventing enforcement following a ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court that ended a temporary stay. Fox News' Nate Foy is in Eagle Pass, Texas with the latest.
Today, Texas made its case in court to enforce Senate Bill 4 now. The law allows Texas to arrest and deport migrants without referring them to Border Patrol.
Texas has a right to defend itself. At least some applications of SB 4 are constitutional.
A district court initially blocked the law from taking effect, a decision the federal government agrees with.
All the district court did was preserve the federal list system that's been in effect for 150 years.
The Biden administration argues the law interferes with its federal authority over our borders, as the Supreme Court found in several provisions of a 2012 Arizona law. Texas argues its law is different because SB 4 mirrors rather than contradicts federal law. Congressman Tony Gonzalez says this legal back and forth battle is forcing Americans to suffer immediate consequences.
If the Biden administration spent as much time trying to fix the border as they are trying to block things from happening, Americans will be a whole lot safer for that.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott calls it an invasion.
How many terrorists are roaming the United States of America as we speak? The answer is no one knows.
Right now, illegal crossings in Texas are down as numbers skyrocket in America's West, with Arizona's Tucson sector leading the way and several large migrant groups crossing into Yucumba, California today. Those illegal crossings out west are expected to skyrocket even more if SB 4 goes into effect. Right now, we are awaiting a decision from a 3-judge panel regarding if Texas can enforce the law over the next 2 weeks before the federal appeals court hears arguments about the constitutionality of the law coming up on April 3rd. In Eagle Pass, Texas, Nate Foy, Fox News.
Covering the economy tonight, when should we expect interest rate cuts? Reacting to today's news that rates would stay unchanged, Federal Reserve Chairman Powell says they'll come down when Fed officials get more data. Still, Powell says that we should expect 3 cuts this year. That's in line with the bank's earlier projections.
Inflation has eased substantially while the labor market has remained strong, and that is very good news. But inflation is still too high, ongoing progress in bringing it down is not assured, and the path forward is uncertain.
Powell says ongoing strong economic conditions and a robust job market are helping to even out recent reports showing consistently high inflation. But for right now, rates are staying put at 5.25%. Well, get this, the U.S. falls from the top 20 in a new 2024 report of the happiest countries. America ranking 23rd on this year's World Happiness Report. That's according to data collected in the Gallup World Poll. It's the first time America has been pushed out of the top 20 since the report began back in 2012. Younger Americans are significantly unhappier than older adults. Finland ranked number 1 and Denmark came in at number 2. The rankings were determined by a 3-year average of each country's assessment of quality of life. In science and technology, a far-off star is expected to be visible to the naked eye this year. NASA is calling it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The star system, sitting 3,000 light years from Earth, is too dim to see right now without any tools. But when it explodes, it will be about as bright as the North Star. The nova outburst is expected any time now until September and will last for several days.
Heading into the overnight and into early Thursday morning, we'll see a cold start with temperatures in those 30s. But another nice day for tomorrow. We really aren't going to find, we won't find anything too different until we get more so into the daytime on Friday. So tracking our rain for Friday, how much we could expect. And we'll be looking ahead to your weekend as well. We're going to start with that rain chance for Friday. No severe weather expected. That is important, so that is good to point out. But we'll be looking at showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder as we go through the day on Friday. As far as tomorrow goes, though, another beautiful day. We are going to be a little cooler compared to where we were today, but still nice. A couple clouds, too. Not looking at the clear sky that we had today. 63 by 2 o'clock, should top off in those mid-60s as we head through the afternoon. And overall, just a pleasant afternoon for us for Thursday here. Starting off in the morning, a few clouds around. That'll be the case off and on cloud cover throughout the day and into the early evening. As we get into the evening, a few stray showers may be possible for us. We're going to keep rain chances pretty small for tomorrow. Really won't be until early Friday that we're starting to see more of these showers fill in on radar. For the morning commute, maybe dodging a few of those showers around. Becomes much more scattered in nature as we head into the afternoon. This is 12 noon for Friday. Notice where the main source of energy is to our south, but it will throw a ton of moisture our way, which brings us those rain showers throughout the afternoon and the early evening hours for Friday. It continues through, I'd say, about 9-10 p.m. before the front finally moves in and will help to dry us out by pushing out all of this moisture just in time for the weekend. Now, it is going to bring in some breezy winds for Saturday, and it is going to cool us down a little bit, but we are looking dry for the afternoon on Saturday and for Sunday. How much rain are we expecting? Right now, trends have come down a little bit, but I would still say maybe a quarter to a half inch. Looks likely for a lot of us, and a little less for those up north towards the Tennessee-Kentucky border. Lower amounts the further north you are, but the rest of us looking at about a half inch, quarter to a half inch possible from Friday afternoon through Friday evening. We take a look at your forecast for tonight. A low around 38 degrees. We're up to about 66 as we head through the afternoon. 68 for Friday, and then back to the low 60s. A bit of a breeze for Saturday too, but upper 60s, close to 70 again by Sunday. Very spring-like 7 days ahead. Another chance for showers setting up for us into the early part.
24 Ram 1500 trucks. Visit your local Ram dealer today.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by the Nashville Predators.
10
Tennessee Vols kicking off the NCAA tournament tomorrow night, and they're going to need this guy. Vols fifth-year guard Dalton Knecht was named the SEC Player of the Year last week, and today named a finalist for the Luke Olson National Player of the Year award. Knecht is averaging over 21 points per game while shooting 46% overall, virtually unstoppable. And the Vols will definitely need those numbers tomorrow night when they face St. Peter's to open up the tournament. Now, Tennessee is coming off an ugly loss to Mississippi State in the opening game of the SEC tournament last week. Knecht says they weren't the aggressor in that game, and that won't happen again.
We just weren't there. We need to be. We're going to be more competitive, especially we know it's win or go home, and this could be our last game, and we definitely don't want that to happen. So we're going to come out ready to fight and be the aggressors.
Vols tip off 8:20 tomorrow night against St. Peter's in the opening round. Well, the madness already started for the Vanderbilt women tonight, and good news, they get to keep on dancing. The Doors get a 4-point win over Columbia out of the Ivy League tonight. This one coming down to the wire, but Doors came out on top 72-68. That means Vandy will now face 5th-seeded Baylor in the first round on Friday. Congrats to the Doors. The Nashville Predators aren't slowing down anytime soon. They extended their point streak last night to now 15 games in a row. And the last time the Preds had that long of a streak, the 2017 season when they made that memorable run to the Stanley Cup final. Now, every one of these points are crucial as the club makes its push for the postseason, but it also helps the team find their confidence and also consistency in their style of play.
We talked about it before the game. We're very grateful for this opportunity to have this point streak. It's not, you can't take it for granted. There's a lot of work that we put in to get to this point, and obviously we want to keep it going as long as we can.
Preds will try to make it 16 games in a row against the Florida Panthers tomorrow night on the road. And some quick Titans news. The team agreeing to a new deal with kicker Nick Folk after a fantastic 2023 season where he was 29 of 30 on field goals. Great to have him back. Titans also adding D lineman Sebastian Joseph from the Chargers and 49ers last year. Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
So you got like achy legs and you don't like the way they look? Maybe you need a little vein.
Got better. Now choose 2 wraps for breakfast or 2 hand-breaded chicken wraps for lunch or dinner. Morning to night, get 2 wraps, $5. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
In your health news tonight, new therapies to treat painful leg vein problems. Medical reporter Liz Bonus explains how they can help.
Hey there, everybody. If your legs have been aching or swelling throughout the day, or you notice even veins bulging or they don't look good, having them treated may help more than just the appearance of your legs.
Treat those veins.
The bottom of my ankles and my feet were swelling so bad that it was getting to the point when I was running or walking that it was hurting so badly.
That swelling and pain is exactly what led Connie here to the office of Dr. Andy Hearn. He's a vascular surgeon at Ohio's Vein Center of Cincinnati that treats what's called venous insufficiency.
We divide patients into 2 groups. One that are symptomatic, they have some heaviness or swelling, aching, worse in the feet after standing for long periods of time. Then we'll do a Doppler ultrasound and analyze the blood flow in the veins below the surface.
If the blood flow is going the wrong way, he can reverse that flow by closing off some of the areas around it. He can then treat the surface veins, which is the second group of patients that may notice discomfort. And it takes veins from this to this with what's called sclerotherapy. He showed us how it works on patient Lindsay Lane.
That's a word that comes from the word sclerosis, which means to scar. We put a solution, a very simple detergent-like medicine, into the veins with a tiny needle, and that gets the veins to fade.
What's it feel like when he's putting that in?
It's just like a little pinch and burn.
This combination has made quite a difference for Lindsay and Connie.
It was almost instant relief when I had the procedure done.
In most cases, this therapy is covered by medical insurance plans. If not, the therapy will start at about $300. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
All right, Katie has a final check of our weather tonight now that we have launched into spring. Soft launch.
Yes, it is. And it's, you know, it's not looking too bad. It's very spring-like as we head through the next several days. Chance for showers and storms on Friday, and then the weekend, fortunately, is looking good. Will be a little cool for Saturday, but right back up close to 70 for Sunday, and another chance for rain.